Hello everybody, welcome back to 8-Bit Writers. My name is Gray, and I am a DID system who also happens to be a writer. Today is going to be a bit of a chatty video, or at least I will do my best. It's definitely not my strong suit, but I have smoked a little bit, and we're gonna try. So yeah, in my last video, if you didn't see it, you might be a little confused as to why I'm even posting, if you didn't watch the video but you saw the title. I talked about why I no longer want to be a writer, and by that I mean I don't only want to be a writer. However, that does not change the fact that I am still a writer, and will continue to be, hopefully until the day I die. That being said, I'm gonna talk about writing. I have many whips going on right now, because honestly, we've literally just been going whim to whim what we feel like working on the day, depending on who's fronting, what mood we're in, etc. It's been difficult. I guess this would be hard to go longer without mentioning. We've been in a very severe depressive episode. One of the most severe ones I'd say I've ever had, and one of the longest. It's been at least a month of pretty much non-stop being upset, I'll put it at that, and that has definitely affected our writing and how we get things done and what we get done. So I guess some of the projects we've been working on, let's go rapid fire, okay? We worked on a Taylor Swift themed low fantasy novella. One alter in specific has been working on an autofiction novel. We've been doing a ton of flash pieces. We wrote a short story called Vulture, which we're really proud of. Let's see, what else have we worked on? Let me actually pull up my drive. We wrote an essay, and we would like to write more. We really want to work on, From Sprinkler Splashes to Fireplace Ashes. That's another Taylor Swift themed project of ours. It is a string of flash pieces that make up one cohesive storyline. Each one is based off a different Taylor Swift song. We also have a mini short story thing going on with Skylar, our best friend and fellow writer, and they're also a musician and some other stuff, and we're doing 2 short stories each. Ironically, this is completely a coincidence. I'm not that obsessed, but these were also Taylor Swift prompts. Let me see. I've been trying so hard to work on Super Kids, guys. Okay, let's talk about Super Kids. I don't know how much I've talked about Super Kids on this channel. This is kind of a new channel. There's not a lot of content on it. Super Kids has been with me for many a year. July, I think, is the anniversary. And, oh my god, I want to say it's been like 5 or 6 years. Like 5 or 6 years. That's crazy. It's been a lot of years. It's been at least 4 of them. I'm very confident in that. But, I think it's honestly been more than that. But anyway, enough about how long it's fucking been, Jesus Christ. Super Kids started out as a fan fiction, as a Sander-sized fan fiction that I decided to turn into an original piece. And I'm happy I did, and I still love fan fiction and Sander-sides and all that stuff. I just think this is better as a original piece. And however, that will never change, that it began as a Sander-sized fan fiction. That will forever be in its heart. And anyway, the plot. It follows four main characters. It is in third person. I promise it's not confusing. I have it down to a science, but it follows 4 main characters, one of them being Benji, whom we have an alter who named themselves after Benji, because Benji was originally Virgil, and our Benji is a Virgil Sanders fictive. Anyway, yeah, so it follows this guy named Benji. He is a young adult person who is a trigger warning, I guess, real quick. Trigger warning for abuse. And I'll put it right here. I don't know. I don't remember, okay? It's gonna come back to me, so I'll put it here. I'll give myself a second. Trigger warnings. Okay, so. Oh, and I'll also put a timestamp to where you can skip this part. So, Benji is being abused by his father, and when Benji realizes and unlocks his superpower, which is that he can control and weaponize shadows or darkness, his dad and his dad's boyfriend is like, cool, you're gonna be robbing houses now to pay our bills and put food on the table. So Benji starts to become this super villain, and he has this downward arc that later blooms into a redemption arc. Benji is so good, okay? Benji is so good. Anyway, he becomes a super villain. Meanwhile, these other assholes, I'm kidding, they are Haru, Astrid, I blanked on her fucking name. See if you can tell who's who. Haru, Astrid, and Dante. Haru and Astrid are best friends, alright? They love each other to death, and they've had superpowers for at least a couple of years now. Astrid for her entire life, pretty much. And when this nightmare, as Benji's referred to, comes out, they decide they want to stop him and, save the city. And then Dante gets inserted as well, and it's all very complicated, but it is basically about, in its core, it's about healing and about not judging books by their covers and about keeping yourself safe, even if that hurts you a little bit. It deals a lot with abuse and negligence and family trauma and trauma in general, and how people can prey on people who are hurting. It is one of my most dear projects. I need to work on it. I need to work on it so bad, guys. It's a duology, so there will be 2 books. Actually, no, it might be a trilogy. I forgot I wanted to add a 3rd book, because the thing is, book 1 and 2 is, spent with Benji just suffering, and, he gets, a happy ending, but he's, suffering through most of book 1 and 2. And I wanted a 3rd book that was kind of an optional 3rd sequel that is focused more on the healing, and it's gonna be more of a little sleuthy mystery type thing. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, but let me think of anything else. I don't even know how I feel about the plot of this. No, I don't want to talk about that, honestly, because it's such a new project. I was going to talk about the plot of the Taylor Swift low fantasy thing, but it's such a new project. I'm not going to talk about it yet. I worked on Greywater. Greywater is, I'll put the trigger warnings for Greywater here. Greywater is a horror story that is 100% inspired by Outlast. Greywater follows 3 urban explorers named Ellie, Ezra, and Blair as they head into the abandoned Greywater Academy for the creative arts. And so they get to this academy, and they expect it to be just this abandoned school that they're gonna get a bunch of views on because they're recording shit, and they're gonna make friends near their area. Yeah, they live in a shitty small town, and they just want to make friends, so they're trying to get more attention on the internet to make friends, which I think is funny, but yeah. So they get there, and there are like these security guards surrounding the perimeter, and they're like, what's up with that? But they're like, you know what, we're still gonna go in because we really want more friends. We're sick of just the three of us, and it's time. So they sneak their way inside, and then they're exploring kind of near the entrance silently, while they hear footsteps like running towards them, and they look up, and there's this man, and he's saying something about how some guy named Carlisle is gonna get him killed, and he just looked out of his mind with paranoia, and he is running, and so he starts to change in his appearance. It starts to like ripple and shift, and he never reaches completion in this change, in this shape-shifting thing, but he starts to look very not human. And then the gates reopen, and the people who were the guards who were around the perimeter shoot him down. And then after that, the guard looks Ellie in the eyes and shuts the gates on them, locking them inside. So the story of Greywater is about these three urban explorers who get trapped inside the abandoned and monster-crawling Greywater Academy of the Creative Arts. They have to survive. There are these two antagonists who are inspired by, you'll know if you're an Outlast fan, but their names are the bride and the groom. They represent a very unhealthy marriage dynamic, very obsessive and just very possessive and unhealthy. But they do it in a very like theatrical, like putting on a show type of way. And there are a couple more, but basically Carlisle, the main villain and monster, puts a bounty on the main characters' heads. So they are trying to escape Greywater while being hunted down by these creatures and trying to uncover what happened in the first place to make these weird creature monster things exist in the first place and be hunting them down. Greywater's cool. I think I've had that idea for around a year now, at least. I think it's pretty sick. I like Greywater. I guess if I can get myself to work on either Super Kids or Greywater, that would be cool. Super Kids would be easier. It's in the drafting phase. I think I'm gonna end that here. Just a little chatty video about some of my work in progresses and how my mental health has been. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're new here, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.